Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan Hall, Athletic Director here at Mayville State, and we have our second edition of the Comic Corner for men's basketball. And with us today, Coach Dyer, head men's basketball coach. Coach, Happy New Year, and thanks for coming on today.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Appreciate it. 10-2, rocking and rolling. You guys started out, last time we talked was a while ago, right at the beginning of the season. I know you talked about having a lot of new faces and those guys working hard to get some chemistry and kind of get a routine of how you guys are going to play and that kind of thing. And, dare I say, so far so good. You guys have been dominating. I don't want to, we'll talk a little later in the show a little bit about, some things that I really noticed and, excited about, as I'm sure you are as well. But, I guess just to start off, how's the beginning of the season been, and how do you feel from our last time we chatted, how things have been kind of coming together as we hit the midpoint of the season?
Yeah, when you think about early on with the wins over Dorton Northwestern right away, they came a little faster than maybe we would have thought about coming together. We played two great games, those two games. Yeah. I would say going forward then, we were probably not as far since then that we wanted to be here. We played some close games against Morris, and we played some good games against Maine that came down here. And we're not as far as we'd like to be, but I think it's that whole thing about not wanting to peak too early too, which, I guess you can look at it however you want to look at it, half glass empty, half glass full, whatever. Yep. We know we can still play a lot better. We know we have to play a lot better. It starts in practice. We need to be better in practice. We need to be more engaged and those kind of things. But it's hard to complain too much at this point in time. But at the end of the day, none of these games outside of the presentation game really mean anything.
Right.
So we got our work cut out for us here against Trinity Bible tomorrow, and then they all count the same after that. So once you get to conference play.
Yep. And just mention those, Coach. I know you're not a look in the rearview mirror kind of guy. You want to get better every day, but those wins over Dorton Northwestern were awesome. You mentioned you guys played well. I think you're being a little humble there. You guys played amazing, I thought, and to get those wins with so many new faces early, I think really set the tone. And obviously you're receiving votes now, and hopefully continue to climb as the season progresses. Coach, with a lot of new faces and those guys really coming together and doing really well, all of them, who do you think this first half has really impressed you? Not that say that they all haven't impressed you. Obviously it's a team game, but who, you have a couple returners. Who's been a good leader and is really, dare I say, shot a little over their, your expectations of what you thought at this point?
Well, we've had, one returning Letterman winner, which is kind of crazy to think of where you are right now, and that was Max Cooper. And I would say him and Renee and Dominic and X have all provided the leadership. It's hard for them as basically the minority coming in with 4 of them and 11 new guys, to kind of come in and try and tell guys how it is and all that. But I think they've done a really good job of that. Renee Melendez coming, in his senior year and not playing a whole lot last year has done a really good job. And he kind of came out of the gates on fire there with some of those early games. And offensively, kind of came back out of the pack a little bit. But what I've been so impressed with him is defensively. His points per possession given up defensively has just gotten better each game, which is huge because we can score. I mean, that's not an issue right now. It's more about how we can do defensively and how we can rebound, and he's able to really help us in a lot of those areas. And then I guess as you think about so far, it's really our backcourt is who kind of starts everything, and Latrell Franklin and Jalen Valverde have done a really good job causing havoc on the defensive end and really pushing the pace on offense. And like you said, we're still figuring out who we are, and trying to figure out the pieces and that kind of thing. And we just kind of started to put in some different things because we're just kind of starting to learn where guys really want to get the ball or where they can be successful at, and that's going to be a continued work in progress all the way until February. And, when you have that many new guys, I think that's going to happen to a lot of teams. But again, happy where we are at this point in time to be there, and it's a good problem to have. But.
And Coach, obviously, I know you and Coach Allen and all your staff, Coach Kleinschmidt, JT, all of you guys obviously do a phenomenal job. But with those new faces, I knew that be competitive, work really hard, do a good job, but to have that going so early, it's just a testament to all you guys and all your players of how well you're doing and how hard you work. So absolutely awesome. I'm excited for the second half of the season. And you kind of mentioned it. Next one is Trinity Bible. And you don't want to overlook that with conference games at the end of the weekend here, or excuse me, coming up this weekend. Going into Trinity tomorrow, and then obviously conference play this weekend. What do you want to see most improve? Obviously, you want to improve different areas, but what's of most importance, do you think, on improvement as you enter conference play and throughout the conference time?
Well, I would say you're right. With Trinity, they have 4 guys that average over 17 points a game, so they can score too.
Yeah.
So you will not be coming in seeing us taking them lightly by any means whatsoever on there. I think the biggest thing is we don't know what we don't know, and we can say what we want to say, but we've never really been in conference play yet as a group.
Right.
So if we could come out and not try and feel the other team out right away. Just come out and play how we know we can play hard, play aggressive, do all that, not let up and then just be more consistent. I think that would be a really good sign, tomorrow and then into the weekend and moving forward. Because you can't take a possession off in conference play. One possession that you don't rip the ball through, or you don't chin it, or you don't get your foot down, or whatever it is, could be the difference in the game.
Right.
Every possession is in conference play is. You throw records out the door. Every game is a 3 to 5 possession game. It doesn't matter who you're playing on.
Yeah.
So I would just like to see us just come out and play consistently like I know we can play, and then kind of just see where the chips fall from there.
Yeah. And, with conference play and things like that, the North Star was, I was here obviously last year. I wasn't here the year before, but what I can tell, there's been a lot of parity in our conference with some really good teams. How do you see that shaking out, throughout the conference as well? Obviously, home games are huge. You want to defend home court, and getting any road wins in the conference is challenging, right?
Yep.
So what do you see this year as far as across the board in the conference, and what it's going to take to be cutting down the nets hopefully at the end?
Yeah, I think, Bellevue, Dickinson, and Valley were picked 1, 2, and 3 in the preseason polls. And again, like you say, with the records, it doesn't matter. Like, none of that matters at this point in time. It just matters what your conference record is.
Right.
I would say that until proven otherwise, those are the 3 top teams that everybody has to chase. And
right.
Again, you're right. Everybody's in the mix,
yeah.
I think. I don't think there's one team that's, guaranteed anything, and I don't think anybody that's guaranteed to be out of there by any means either. It's who's going to play harder and who's going to want it more consistently.
Right.
And that's what you find in our league with the travel, with the back-to-back. Whoever comes out of our league is pretty battle-tested
right.
when it comes through there. Well, our league probably doesn't get the credit it really deserves going through the nation right now, but we feel good about what we're trying to do. We feel good with our plan of action over the 14 games here. Now it's just about going out and doing it.
Gotcha. And Coach, don't want to shift gears, but big weekend again. Not overlooking tomorrow night, but big weekend off the court this weekend as well.
Yeah,
Your men's alumni, men and women's alumni weekend.
Yeah.
And you want to tell us a little bit about that? And I know it's important. I'm sure the guys are fired up to. I know you have an alumni game, and but to have those guys that walked in the shoes of the guys now and that care so much, obviously, about Comet basketball. How special is it, for those guys to come back and see the product that's put on the floor today?
Yeah, there are just so many people that love Mayville State that are alumni and have that pride in tradition, from being a part of the men's basketball program. And this has always been a great day since I've been here, but it's even funner now because there's some of our alumni,
right.
Our players that are coming back and playing, which is always a lot of fun. But just to, like the last couple of years, just to have those guys be able to talk to our players about what it means to put on the uniform and what it means 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, what it still means to them, I think is something that they need to hear because they get tired of hearing from me about that kind of stuff.
Right.
They need to hear it from somebody else.
Yep.
And, that's where this day is. It's so fun. It's great to have everybody back. It's like a big family reunion because they walk in and there's 50 people from the crowd come in and want them to talk to everybody because they remember watching them play. And I think it's great to have it this weekend right away. It'll be a great momentum booster for us, I think, too. I think we'll play a lot better. So we're just super excited. I think right now there's 30, I think, coming back.
That's great.
Right now in some way, shape, or form, either playing or just coming back to watch the game. So
very good.
It'll be great.
Good. Well, it's, like I said, kind of midpoint of the season, and one more tomorrow night against Trinity Bible. Come out to Louis Lee to watch men and women play in doubleheader, and then conference play this Friday and Saturday, Friday evening and then Saturday during the day. So if you can't get here, make sure you check online to check out Coach Ty's men's basketball team as they really hit the conference stretch with weekends coming up for the rest of the month and also next month. And Coach, I appreciate it. And is there anything else you want to say, anything to the Mayville State community before we wrap up today?
Yeah, a very, very small piece, but a very important piece that I think is going a little unnoticed is that we, as a team, had a 3.1 team GPA this semester.
Very good.
And with all those new guys,
Yeah.
a lot of transfer kids, we were ecstatic. I mean,
Yep.
we've traditionally had a very good GPA, and we had, we tied in the nation for the most academic All-Americans last year. But to come in with 10 new guys and still be able to do that, we were thrilled, just thrilled with that. So very proud of our guys and the time that they put into their schoolwork here this semester as well.
It's important, Coach, and obviously, that comes from a great leader and great staff as well. So congratulations to you, your staff, and all the guys. I've gotten to chat with a lot of new faces a little bit this year, and just good kids, good, hard-working young men that do a good job representing the university. So appreciate it, and good luck this weekend and the remainder, and hopefully, and end of the conference, we'll be meeting again and gearing up for some more basketball. So thank you, Coach, and good luck.
Yep, thank you.